Hello everybody. They say that Europa Universalis is a map painting game. I can agree, painting the map is a fun activity. But what if I told you that you could unshackle yourself from this paradigm?
What if I told you that you can reject the concept of government, the concept of power, reject society, embrace the convoy, end all tyranny, let nothing stand. Unpaint the world! We are Black Orcs, born and bred in the mountain. Our chief is known in human words as Mad Max, the Road Warrior. The Green Orcs chant the name of Kurgus Dukanson. They are stupid. Their god was killed by a human. What a disgrace. The shamans shout the battle cries and the earth shakes. There is no place to hide. Uljorkat is the birth of our freedom, and to Uljorkat we ride once again. We hang the trophies of our ancestral victory onto our backs. But wait, what's this? We have stumbled upon something big, real big. Some sort of ancient dwarven machine cart. Maybe we can make it move again.
And so they did. And it was glorious. The Road Warrior experience was extremely special. It's always fun to play a nation that breaks certain rules or makes certain mechanics obsolete, thus allowing space for creativity and innovation. The Road Warrior breaks almost all of the rules. They are anarchy on a train. A pain train. Okay, before anything else, the reason why they're so special is the train government, the Great Convoy. What the tooltip does not say is that any provinces that are not conquered will be destroyed and the land devastated, reducing them to 3 development each and giving them minus 1,000 colonists per year until the end of time. This destruction happens in a few days after conquest, and every province destroyed will yield monarch power, proportional to its original development. Mad Max's legacy is a migratory one-province tribe that will perpetually be on the move, destroying everything that they conquer. The paint train has different compartments that can be upgraded via decisions. These can be upgraded while stationed in a dwarven hold and cost money and monarch power. The main compartment increases the amount of monarch power plundered. The breakers compartment upgrades siege ability, the living compartment upgrades flat supply limit and manpower, builder increases fort defense and construction time, fighter massively upgrades the force limit and supply limit in your one province, arena increases army tradition and lowers the damage taken by your troops by a small amount, training decreases troop maintenance and recruitment costs, thinkers increases the accumulation of church power, and scavengers increases the local goods produced while granting a flat yearly tax income. Your economy, if you dare call it that, will be based on looting and the yearly tax income from the scavengers compartment. The one province that you ride around in will be mostly useless from an income perspective. Road Warrior ideas change from the warband ones once the train is obtained. They are almost exclusively military ideas, and the new Rail Skulkers idea grants liberty desire reduction in subjects. I found subjects to be more of a burden than anything else, but it might be a good way to reach some places that are inconveniently far away by using them. In the early game, the mission tree is a good guide. It has 3 branches for the 3 directions you can take in the Serpent Spine. My first choice was to go north through Verkal Kozenad and into Ernatvir, to be able to upgrade the convoy on the roads and not only while stationed in the holds. Destroying the city of Almdir early is also very beneficial, before the dwarves get their hands on it and become a nuisance. Each hold mission will grant you the ability to overdrive the engine and teleport directly to that respective hold. This is great due to the fact that otherwise movement is very slow. You are still only able to migrate from one province to the next one every 2 years otherwise. The fact that you destroy everything you touch also makes conquest an interesting puzzle. You need to plan your wars carefully. Try to fight separate wars with countries that neighbor each other and end them both in a few consecutive days in order to grab as much land as you need before it is devastated. Remember that stability is not a concern. You have one province with next to no tax income, just do it. Declare the best casus belli. The second branch I took was the eastern one, into Segdir and Verkal Gulan, Grozumdir, and finally the holds in the Jade Mountain. The command never knew what hit them. They could not see through the darkness of the tunnels, and I sieged them down and destroyed their captured holds. Afterwards, I drove back to Huljorkad and pushed south to complete the conquest. This was not the ideal route though. The final missions require you to return to the gates of the Jade Mountain and complete the devastation of the Dwarven roads for the final siege ability and morale reward. All tribal Black Orcs have the ability to gather trophies from the holds that they conquer. Each province will grant a specific permanent bonus. This is a bit clunky in conjunction with the Convoy. You might see some bonuses drop off for whatever arcane reasons after you conquer the hold. If that happens, just assimilate it again via console and you should be Gucci. Wait, what? You're playing Anbennar in Iron Man mode? What's wrong with you? One of the mission also gives you the ability to truce break every 5 years or so. This is convenient, but it's not super mandatory, it just saves you a bunch of mana. Anyway, for the mid-game, I had an idea. Conquering land on foot can become very unpleasant due to the limitation of the migration mechanics. Therefore, I started to drive back east. I came down upon the unsuspecting Bahari and took everything from them. I set up camp semi-permanently in Ovdal Tungur. Now I could build a navy, repair the hold, change the culture of the province to Dwarven, and made it my primary. Now I could even dig deeper. Controlling the coast, I could expand my conquests across the near and distant shores. Also, I could pretend I had an economy now. My convoy matriarchs were breeding troops constantly to keep the pace with my ever-growing force limit. Building buildings while driving through the Dwarovar is counterproductive. Overdriving the engines has some strange effects, and in some cases I would find myself keeping some buildings while losing others, but thankfully it's not that important and I couldn't pretend that I cared. Your province is there more for decoration than anything else. I chose to aim for military hegemon as fast as possible for the extra land movement speed. Reaching 1000 force limit is quite simple, but building 1000 troops fast enough is the real challenge. The only limitation is really the single province that you have to work with. Just breed the troops and have 500 infantry stand guard forever. Nobody will ever get close to your convoy province. Obviously, if your one province is exposed and besieged, the game is instantly over. The Jad came knocking and I switched to it via event. It was a mistake. It's worse than the old Dukan in your condition, but it doesn't matter that much. Nothing really matters. There is no religious unity, there is no overextension, there is no stability, there is no monarch power, there is nothing but victims. Take care while annexing colonizers. Make sure that it's your choice to fully annex them and their colonies or not. You may want instead to just devastate the colonial lands and just not worry about them later. The late game opens up in the Age of Revolutions. The first Splendor ability that you should choose is obviously Unrestricted Conquest. Now you can spread anarchy to the world. The revolution does not affect your one province, but beware that if you choose to take up the flag of revolution, the Great Convoy will be replaced. Reject the revolution too. Kill everything instead. It might be slightly slower to gather splendor as a one province anarchy orc breeding train society, but once the unrestricted conquest is out of the cage, you have achieved your final form. The ideas, mission rewards, convoy upgrades, and Dwarovar trophy bonuses should be sufficient from a military quality perspective. You may even want to switch to Dwarven military. I chose not to due to the fact that I value movement speed over anything else, and because the breaker compartments give more than enough siege ability to compensate for the orcish handicap. The idea set choices were very fun. Due to the bizarre gameplay, the choices I had to make were vastly different than usual. My first choice for idea sets was offensive, for the siege ability and the faster recruitment time. Recruiting troops is really the bottleneck. Second idea was diplomatic, for the extra province war cost. Reduced penalty for truce breaking is also nice. Third idea set was innovative for the offensive siege policy and the reduced advisor cost. Quality then helps both the army and the navy quite a bit. Exploration was necessary to discover our overseas victims, and the naval force limit was very welcome. This was one playthrough where both maritime and naval ideas made perfect sense. In order to bring anarchy to the world, I had to rely on a fleet fueled by a single province. They ended up being the only good choices that I had left. I used them well. There is a thing that sits on my mind sometimes. People ask about what country to start with when trying Anbennar for the first time. Often I see recommendations like Lorient or Gaved, but those countries are boring. Do you really want to play as Red France, or does playing a one-province anarchic orc breeding train society sound slightly more interesting? If you're here for something new, you're looking for something like this. It's almost like playing Reverse Europa Universalis, and it's great. Thank you for watching until the end. See you later.
And hail Duca!